So Coach K came up with what we call standards. Standards are different than rules, and we don't use the word rules hardly at all anymore. We use the word standards. Rules are sometimes have a negative connotation, I think, for players, where standards have a very high connotation, very positive. Hey, here's standard you need to live up to. Here's what we're trying to do with our gold standard. So I think the word standards right away set it apart from rules. And you'll hear me say a lot in practice, if our defense is not very good, I'll say, hey, you know what? Excuse me, our defensive standard here is lacking. We need to make sure that our standards are better than this for playing defense. So let me go through these rather quickly. Again, I can send these out. I've done these with my high school team as well. We even do it with our middle school teams. And, I'll be able, I coach my grandson who's 9 years old, team sometimes when I'm back here in Iowa. And we use 4 of these standards for his team. So I think you need to evaluate really what these are good, what kind of team you have and what you want to emphasize. These are some kind of non-negotiables as we talk about, but these are the 15 that Coach K came up with. We have modified them a little bit for our junior national team as well. So the first one, no excuses. A real quick story here about that one is that LeBron James was sitting in the room and he raised his hand. He said, I have a chance to play with the best players in the world. Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd. Hey, we have no excuses not to win the whole thing. So Coach K said, all right, that's going to be our first no excuses one. First standard is no excuses. And players need to understand this as well, because no excuses permeates whatever you do. There's no excuses for making a bad play. Hey, I don't mind a player saying my bad, because it kind of allows him to move on from what he did. But don't make excuses about officials hey, officials screwed us. No, we don't have excuses. I'm going to skip down, and again, I can send these out to you in an email here shortly. If you give me, I'll give you my email address. I'm going to skip down to number 3, and I'm going to show a little video here. Communication is huge. As a young coach, I didn't know how big communication was. You cannot over communicate. You simply cannot over communicate. Your communication needs to be consistent every day with your players and your parents. You can't give them different communications one day and the other. Parents will understand you, and you'll get along much better with parents if you are consistent with your communication. As a young coach, I didn't have any idea how important that was. Secondly, you need to be candid with your communication. You need to be candid. Tell the players the truth. That's how they start to trust you. Number 4 is trust, which is, to me, the most important one. But communication is, you got to be consistent and candid. If they ask you, hey, how come I'm not getting more minutes? You tell them bluntly, candidly, hey, because first of all, maybe you're not a good enough ball handler right now. Maybe you're not. Maybe I don't trust you on the court with making decisions. Be candid in what you say. And when parents ask the same thing, be candid. They may not like it right away, but I'll guarantee that they will certainly respect you much more and have much more trust in you. Now, communication with players to players is really important. Coaches always, we're yelling at players, hey, you got to communicate, talk. Well, players don't know what to say on the court. So we give them, here's the way you communicate on the court. We tell them you always communicate early, loud, and often. Very simple, but that has really helped our communication. Early. Hey, my man's setting a screen. I go, screen left. Early. Loudly. Screen left, often, 3 times. Screen left, screen left, screen left. Now they know how to communicate. And so that's really important.